Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to... No, hang on. Before we get started, alright? Last week, someone made a comment saying that bit of paper, that one, has got to go. So, alright, I've had enough of your paper insults. Okay, you want the paper gone? Paper's... Oh, damn. Paper's gone, alright? That missed wildly. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports, where it has been another wild roller coaster. We've seen the Eagles trade for the running back that fans have pined for so long. We've seen the Phillies get off to a blinding start to their 2019 campaign, and Sixers fans enhancing the reputation of the Philadelphia faithful once more. But before we get into today's video, guys, it would mean a lot to me if you could hit that subscribe button down below. We're on 8,000 subscribers now. That blows my mind. So thank you so much for all of your support. We want to build the biggest platform for Philadelphia fans possible, and we can't do that without you. So thank you for all of your support. Hit that subscribe button if you like what we do, and leave a like and let us know your opinions on today's topics down below in the comment section. We're going to start things off, of course, with the headline news out of Philadelphia this week, and that is that Jordan Howard, the former Bears running back, the underdog that everyone fell in love with through his first 3 years in the league, is now a Philadelphia Eagles. Howie Roseman sent a conditional 2020 pick, so a 6th round pick for Jordan Howard, and will get back a 4th round pick if he goes next year, right? So let's just put this into context for the minute. The Eagles send a 6th round pick to get a running back that costs $2 million, that at his lowest production has recorded 970 yards, and then if they can't sign him next year, they get a 4th round pick back. I'm out. Howie's too good. I'm out. I've had it. It's too much. I'm done. Genuinely though, this is a phenomenal move for shoring up the backfield. The Eagles lost LeGarrette Blount and it hurt them last year. They lost Jay Ajayi this year due to a horrible season-ending injury. It hurt them badly. Now they bring in Jordan Howard, a back that is simply a north and south bowling ball in an inside zone scheme. We saw what he can do under Matt Nagy in 2018. What can he do under Doug Peterson in a similar type system? Now, I know a lot of you guys wanted a Jordan Howard film room, and I totally understand why. The issue is, and it is a minor issue here, I did one literally 2 weeks ago saying why the Eagles should or shouldn't trade for him that detailed absolutely everything. So if you've not seen that yet, hit it up there. But the last thing I want to do with you guys is give you the same regurgitated content. We want fresh takes, but for the short term, there is no possible lens that this is a bad move for the Philadelphia Eagles. I could sit here and say that in short yardage situations, Jordan Howard converted 74% of the time. Or I could sit here and say even though he had a career low in yards per carry, he averaged 4.3 out of the shotgun. Well, what's that? What do the Eagles run? Shotgun? The Eagles run it? Oh, well, I just can't seem to see the fit there. This for the Eagles adds some sense of stability. Howard is literally going to bowl through tackles, and even better, that while his offensive line produced around 4.1 yards, like pushing the pile on average, Jordan Howard added 4.3, so he was actually given a positive beneficiary to what the offensive line gave him, whereas the Eagles running back sort of struggled to do that. Howard is a patient runner that's going to wait for lanes to open. He's going to sit behind his blocks and really make the most of what one of the most athletic lines in the league can do for him. And I feel like that was one of the big issues last year, was that Howard behind that offensive line, I feel like the transition in scheme going into that offense, it demanded much more athleticism than what the Bears offensive line were used to. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just that when they're trying to put a lot of wham and a lot of trap concepts and pulling tackles and guards, that he ended up being swallowed behind the line of scrimmage so many times. Like, I think even the most athletic of running backs would have struggled. You've got Tariq Cohen going sideways where all you need is a little bump and you're free because he's so burstful. Howard is a grinder. He takes a little bit of a while to get going, and behind this offensive line, the Eagles have their 3 down back. However, that's not to say there aren't concerns to be had. I think the biggest one for me is that going into the season beyond next, they still need an insurance policy, because technically now, Howard, Clement, Adams, Smallwood, all of them are set to be free agents next year. That's a bit bad, isn't it? Now, I'm not saying those are obviously major contributors for the Eagles or what they could be next season, but there is no long-term stability. And the perk of signing someone like Jordan Howard is that A, it's his contract year, so he's going to run like a man possessed to secure that bag he deserves. However, you're going to take a back in his contract year that wants a big payday. There is a good chance that Howie Roseman won't be able to afford him, especially given that a big-time Carson Wentz contract has to be on the horizon at this stage. So outside of that, if you're going to lose that committee, this draft has to be more important than ever. I would say that the Jordan Howard trade makes the Eagles even far more likely to double dip at running back. back. I mean, imagine a David Montgomery and someone like Darrell Henderson. That would be a perfect double dip. Maybe a double dip at DT as well. But I genuinely feel like this move, yes, you've got a short-term solution, but it's not a Tevin Coleman. It's not a long-term deal. It's not someone that gives you 2 or 3 years of stability. It gives you upfront production. It heightens your chances of a championship in 2019, which is fantastic. But after that, there is much more pressure on this draft right now, because if the Eagles don't get it right, it's forcing pressure next year. And as we know, the Eagles can be quite stingy at running back. They don't like spending a lot of money. Who can blame them, let's be brutally honest, when you're getting so much production out of that committee. But overall, phenomenal move by the Eagles. And I'll reiterate this again. The Eagles are going to pay $2 million for a running back that at his lowest had 900 rushing yards, okay? They sent a 6th round pick. And if they can't afford him next year, they get a 4th round pick. Yeah, I don't get why Chicago wouldn't keep him around for $2 million to get that level of production out of him. Maybe they're going to go with someone like Devin Singletary. Maybe they want to reduce the cap load there and start again. Who knows? But either way, this is a great move by the Eagles. Second big move of the week was that they re-signed Richard Rodgers to a 2-year deal. And you could be looking at this going, oh, Liam, Richard Rodgers didn't do anything. He played 3% of offensive snaps. And I would say, yes, he did. And look how much the offense changed. When the Eagles lost Brent Selleck and Trey Burton last year, sure, Dallas Goedert a step up. But let me remind you of those opening few weeks of the season, okay, where, against all odds, Joshua Perkins became the star of the show because Dallas Goedert wasn't being used at all. The 2nd round pick was sat playing Sudoku on the sideline while Josh Perkins recorded 62 yards against the Buccaneers. Good one. So the Eagles, over the course of time, began to rely more on Goddard and Ertz, #Goddard, and that was great. The two started to shine. Goddard was amazing in the red zone, and Ertz went on to now become arguably the best tight end in the league. Fantastic. But the big part of that 2017 season were 3 tight end sets. We loved seeing Trey Burton come out as this underdog option, almost that Chris Hogan effect that we used to see in New England, where you don't really anticipate what he can do. He was so under the radar that he would come out as a viable check down option, had the athleticism to stretch the field, and even at times line up in the slot, while Brent Selleck would take on blocking duties and Zach Ertz would literally ruin the scene. That was lost last year, and I feel like the Richard Rodgers injury really hampered that. It was such a shame to see him go down, but now with him back, kind of filling that Brent Selleck role, he's got over 1,000 receiving yards himself, but it opens up Ertz and Goddard to do their thing. You're going to have a 13 personnel set, and just imagine this, okay? I said this on the Outside Insider podcast, cheap plug. Also, while we're really quickly on that, I've said for weeks on that podcast that there were no reviews on the iTunes store, and I felt really bad, so if you could leave one, that'd be lovely. I didn't realise there were different iTunes stores, okay? That the US one had a review system and the UK one does, so I checked the US one, and there's like 40 of them. So thank you so much to everyone who's left kind words about the podcast. That means a lot to me, so thank you. But anyway, back to Richard Rodgers, okay? Just imagine a 13 personnel set, right, with all tight ends bunched to the right and a Jordan Howard run. Oh, that is going on an adult website not named YouTube.com. I can tell you that once that play happens. On to your undefeated Philadelphia Phillies for about 6 hours until they conveniently just ruin this now, because this is how this series works. 2-0 so far. They've opened up the season against the Atlanta Braves. We have had Nola Day. We have had Rhys Hoskins' home run. We have had Bryce Harper's first home run that made even the straightest of men get a little bit flustered. It was an incredible time to watch this team. You could feel the atmosphere in Citizens Bank Park, even from England. Like, you can watch the game, the roar of the crowd, seeing Bryce Harper go out of the dugout to win the crowd over. That's a Philly guy through and through. Like, this has been the wildest start to a season. Everyone is so amped up about this Phillies team right now. The offense is scoring in abundance. I'm pretty sure that pitching is slowly going to become a factor in the development cycle as time goes on. But what a start. Like, how can you look at this season with anything less than pure optimism? To a point, alright, it is my birthday next Saturday, so videos may or may not consist of slightly hungover Liam. I'm going to try and get a load planned out so that the podcast may be a bit earlier. But I'm getting a Bryce Harper jersey for my birthday because I need to add to the wall, alright? I need to add to the wall now. It's coming home. The Phillies are going 162-0. Bryce Harper is going to set a home run record. I mean, I think expecting him to get 162 home runs is a little bit expectant, but 158 I feel is perfectly attainable. So him and Hoskins together, home runs for everyone. So, and it just feels like every game is suddenly winnable. There's not this existential dread that comes with a Phillies game where you're relying on one player to suddenly break out. You've just got this whole realm of positivity and excitement, and it's just so fun to watch. Again, I'm not a big baseball guy. That's what the writers at phillysportsnetwork.com, cheap plug, kind of cover for us, and we want to add more Phillies content to this YouTube channel as we do with Flyers. You may have seen Yuri's video earlier this week, as we do with Sixers as well. We're going to have some big plans for this channel. How can you not love the Phillies right now? I mean, they're just going to sweep their way through, sweeping away the Atlanta Braves, just getting them out the way, just a little sweep to start the season. And that's about as much as I can say about it right now. Just what a fun time it is to be watching this Phillies team. Although the best content of all was Bryce Harper, Phillies home run, Titanic theme. On to the Sixers this week, and while their playoff berth is secure, the one thing that we have to kind of bear in mind here is just how incredible the Sixers fans are. We've kind of hit that period now where we know what the fate of the Sixers is. We know they're going to the postseason. We're just enjoying the ride, letting the young players come out, letting Mike Scott, can we just appreciate Mike Scott for a second, has the most drip of any NBA player I've seen. Russell Westbrook is now down here in my estimations. That Flyers home jersey with the shattered backboard Air Jordan 1s, like, jeez, like, that is mad. Like, what a fit. We should do it. I think that maybe we should have a new award on this show, okay? Twip's Drip of the Week, okay? This week in Philadelphia Sports, Drip of the Week goes to Mike Scott for this just godlike fit. So fair play to Mike Scott. But back onto the main topic, a group of Sixers fans all flew to Minnesota to just share their respect for Robert Covington and Dario Saric, who of course were stripped from the heart of the Sixers fan base, two pivotal parts of the process earlier during the season. So Sixers fans waited for a whole hour after the game in Minnesota just for Dario and Rocco to come out. And they did! Like, they actually came out and said hello to the fans, and they had a moment, and it's the most wholesome thing you'll see today. Philly fans are the worst. Philly fans suck. Philly fans are no more than fans. Yeah, Philly fans also went to Minnesota to look at two players who don't even play on the team anymore, just to say hello and show their respect and admiration for what they've done. Massive fair play to the Sixers fans. You guys are some real ones. On to the Flyers, and their season ended. That's about it, really, isn't it? Carter Hart is very good. He saves a lot of shots. The rest of the Flyers are struggling. Is Joel Quenneville going to be the new coach of the team? I don't know. But all attention is focused on the draft right now, and we have had plenty of interviews and features with key prospects, including Jack Hughes, who's set to go #1 overall. That's over at our site. Cheap plug. phillysportsnetwork.com. And finally onto the Philadelphia Union, where they win their 100th game in franchise history with a 2-0 win over FC Cincinnati. So it's coming home. The Philadelphia Union are winning it all. They've kind of got their stuff together. Everything's rolling in the right direction, and the Union are looking to make some big waves during this MLS season. We have to interject right here with a checkup on the March Madness brackets. How are your brackets doing? Mine is not going well at all. I mean, there was a period I was second, and now I'm not. So if you're doing better than me, well done. Don't forget, guys, top 5 of you will win prizes. 2 of those prizes are me singing Enrique Iglesias' Hero to you down the phone. 3 of them are merchandise. So let me know what you think. Let me know how your brackets are going. We're almost at the end of March Madness now, and I'm kind of a little bit sad. But Bryce Harper's hitting dingers, so who really cares? And that's all we've got time for in this week's episode of This Week in Philadelphia Sports. Thank you so much for all the support again, guys. There's a massive announcement coming later this week where it's one I never thought I'd ever have the pleasure to make. So I don't want to reveal too much. I'm going to try and do a whole video on it when it happens. But there's going to be a lot more content around here. And there's going to be a lot more content on our website. And I'm just going to be able to commit as much time as I can to doing this now. So I don't want to get too soppy. It's a big announcement though, and it wouldn't be possible without all of your support. So I promise you, this is just the beginning for Philly Sports Network. Whether it's the website, whether it's podcasts, whether it's the YouTube channel, whether it's the LJ memes that you all love so dearly. I mean, what that is, I have no idea, but that's a thing. So you can follow me on Twitter at LiamJenkins21. You can comment down below, hit subscribe, guys. Thank you for everything. Enjoy Bryce Harperville, enjoy tonight's game, and hopefully a sweep of the Atlanta Braves. From myself, Liam Jenkins, I'll see you next time.